I'm Turk Strongman here at the Ranki Ramacharaka. Thank you for selecting this video, the first in the playlist of Dynamic Thought by Henry Thomas Hamblin. Copyright 1921. Our narration of the book, chapter by chapter. This is the first one. Again, copyright 1921, again in 1923. Dynamic Thought by Henry Thomas Hamblin. Let's go. Things to observe. Do not worry because you cannot follow the course exactly to the letter. Do what you can of it, adapt it to your life, and do the best you can in present circumstances. The principal thing is to get twice daily into what is called the silence, to quiet the senses, and get in touch with the unseen. That is, God, divine mind, the infinite, the principle of good, first cause, the absolute. The name doesn't matter. They all mean the same thing. Another vital thing is to use affirmations and denials. These will be explained more fully later. Yet another is meditation, for you gradually grow into the likeness of that upon which you meditate. Still another is visualizing. Always visualize the good, the beautiful, the true, and your life will reflect these things. Incidentally, the practice of visualization greatly increases one's powers of concentration. Also, while you are receiving this course, and for some time after, refrain from all hazardous speculation. Do not launch out in business without sufficient capital and then expect everything to turn out all right. Instead, wait until the way is made clear. Guidance and help will come in time. Therefore, do not try to force things. And remember that although as soon as you start right thinking, you begin to build up your life, yet it takes time to manifest. At first, things may even seem worse. If so, keep on and they will soon settle down. You cannot fail in the long run if you will persist and persevere. I want you to realize that within you are infinite power and possibilities. That the inward power can be aroused and brought into expression by holding high ideals in the mind and by affirmations and by meditation. I want you to realize that it is necessary to spend a short time in the unseen, both night and morning. I want you to realize that by so doing, you can enter a superconscious realm where your mind is creative. That what you speak comes to pass. That what you mentally picture must come true. I want you to realize that it is only by following high ideals that true success can be achieved. And I want you to realize, therefore, picture a higher life, the highest you can conceive, and affirm that it is yours. Remember that this higher life is without sickness, without disease. Forward with joy. You can never fail. Part 1. Success and character building. The objects of this course are, number 1, to alter your mental attitude. And number 2, to direct your thoughts into those channels which lead to success, achievement, health, happiness, and perfect good. 3, the arousing of the inward power. And 4, the overcoming of bad habits. 5, the building up of character. And 6, the discovery and development of the creative faculty. How these are accomplished will be explained to you in their proper place and at the proper time. But first of all, I want you to consider thoughtfully what is before you. It is not exactly an easy road which you have chosen. No path that leads upward ever is. The path of victory is always thorny. But when the thorns hurt the feet the most, we can console ourselves with the thought that the path really does lead somewhere. And we know definitely that it leads to success, achievement, happiness, and satisfaction. Difficulties there will be, disappointments, failures, and setbacks. But to him who sets his face toward the light and will keep steadily onward, there must come success and accomplishment and victory, above all expectation. If now you merely read this and pass on, the amount of good that it will do you will be none at all. This course is useless if you do not do it. Reading it will do you little or no good. It is the doing of it that will change your character and your life. Therefore, stop now and think carefully over the path that lies before you. Estimate its difficulties. Do not think lightly of them. Be prepared for difficulty and make up your mind, here and now, to conquer. You may have failed in the past, but this time you must, you will, you shall overcome every difficulty and weakness and achieve dominion over yourself, victory over your circumstances, and complete control over your life. There must and shall be no failure this time. This time you are going to succeed through the power that is within you. Now close your eyes. Mentally picture yourself radiant, strong, successful, happy, full of joy and the zest of life. See yourself treading a path that leads ever upwards. Behind you, the air is murky and gloomy, but in front is increasing brightness and loveliness. See yourself progressing, climbing, winning. See yourself trampling old habits and weaknesses under your feet. See yourself meeting difficulties in your path, and see yourself sustained by a mighty inward power, brushing all obstacles aside and obstructions aside, and never faltering in your upward climb. Concentrate with all your powers upon this mental imagery. Persevere until you can see yourself radiant, sublime, shorn of all weaknesses and imperfections, the perfect image of your perfect self. See yourself full of vitality and health. See yourself successful, attracting both people and affluence to you. Make a concrete, sharply defined image in your mind of yourself as you desire to be. See yourself master of circumstances, attracting all good things by the power of your mental forces. Whatever you create in this manner, in your mental world, will later be manifested in your outward life. In other words, by mental imagery, you are creating your future self. You will gradually grow into the likeness of the image that you are now creating. Therefore, create the right image. Let your ambition be a high one. Do not picture yourself as a common man, satisfied with vulgar pleasures. Instead, create a perfect man, the most perfect of which you can conceive. In the same way, when you throw your mind forward and foresee the task before you, and will, that all difficulties shall be overcome, and that if you get weary of well-doing, you will not give up but will persevere, and arouse fresh interest in the task of self-culture and achievement, then you are already winning the battle in advance. You are making your ultimate success doubly sure. I want you to realize that this journey of yours is not a walkover. I want you to understand that it is a fight all the way, but at the same time to realize that it is a winning fight all the time. For although difficulties are real, yet you have within you the powers which make difficulties and obstacles melt away. Great and omnipotent power is within you. Nothing can stay your upward climb. There is nobody who can prevent you from succeeding except yourself. There is nothing that can stop your progress but your own doubt and your own fear. All things are possible if you believe that they are possible. Unbounded confidence, the keynote of success. You cannot fail. You yourself are success. Another word for unbounded confidence is faith. Every successful man is a confident man. He believes wholeheartedly in his own power to succeed. This is not vanity. This is not being too cocksure. Instead, it is either conscious or unconscious or subconscious realization of the inward power. This is why so few men are really successful. So few men ever arouse the mighty powers that are within them. So few men think the kind of thoughts that bring these powers into life and action. Every successful man is a man of faith. Every successful man is a man who cultivates hope. A successful man is always hopeful, is never a pessimist, and he brings that which he hopes for into being and reality by the strength of his faith. Therefore, I want you first of all to cultivate hope and faith, for without those qualities, no one, no matter how gifted or clever, can ever succeed. That you have these two qualities is proved by the fact that you are reading this course. You have had the hope of winning your way to a life of success and power, and you have had the faith to believe that within you are the powers and the forces which make this possible. Without hope, a man is as good as dead. Without faith, he is like a rudderless ship drifting hither and thither with every wind and current. On the other hand, all things are possible to the man who has both these qualities. Cast your eyes over the lives of all men of great achievement. You will see that they are all animated by hope and sustained by faith. They hoped for success and believed that they had it in them to achieve that success. In their darkest hours, they hoped on, believing that soon the reaction would come, which would carry them on to the accomplishment of their ambitions. Nothing has ever yet been accomplished by man on this planet without the inspiration of hope and the tenacity of faith. Hope reaches forward and claims success. Faith holds on until success is attained. Therefore, seek to develop these qualities to their fullest extent. It is a well-known fact that when a man turns his face round and determines to fight his way to success, or to overcome evil habit, or to raise himself in any way, either mentally, morally, physically, or spiritually, then everything seems to happen to thwart his new intention and to throttle his new desires. So long as he goes on in his old way, drifting with the tide, floating about helplessly, the sport of fate and the prey of outside circumstances, so long as this goes on, nothing unusual happens. But directly, a start is made in an upward direction. Then all kinds of psychic powers seem to be let loose, whose object appears to be to prevent the student from making any progress in his new life. When a man realizes his own interior powers and understands the vastness and wonder of his subliminal forces, and determines to make use of them, and thus become a king among men instead of a slave, then such a disturbance takes place that unless he possesses hope and faith, he will be tempted to turn his back on a new life and sink back again into his old sluggish drifting existence, which leads to disappointment and to despair. Those people variously known as Christian scientists, mental scientists, spiritual scientists, etc., no matter what they call themselves, they all deal with the powers of the mind. They all experience the same thing. Even the health is affected in a curious way. Friends are peevish and irritable. Little things go wrong in business, and generally, one is out of sorts, and all things awry. When this spirit experience comes to one, then is the time to exercise hope and faith. First of all, remember that the condition is only temporary. After a few days, in some cases it may be weeks, the health will improve. Friends will become genial, and harmony will again reign in your life. When the entities that cause the disturbance realize that you mean to keep on, that you cannot be bullied into going back to the old life, they will quickly leave you. In any case, there's nothing to be afraid of, because these entities are helpless if one does not fear them. In other words, if you have hope and faith, you can win through. Hope for better times, although the present may be discouraging. Faith in the sure belief that soon all the disagreeable symptoms will disappear. Hope on. By faith, hang on. Keep hanging on, and you will win through. Do not be discouraged by seeming failure. Nothing was ever won without effort. What can be had without effort is not even worth having. Take encouragement from the fact that this disturbance in your life proves that vital changes are taking place within, that the vast powers of your subliminal mind are beginning to awaken, and that the entities of your old erroneous beliefs and habits are taking their departure. Believe now that you can conquer and win through, and you will conquer and win through. What you believe you can do, because all power is within you. There is nothing in the world that can stop you except your own doubt and your own fear. I want you to trust me to the extent of doing something, the underlying principle of which cannot be explained in this first lesson. And I want you to make what is known as an affirmation. I want you to affirm the following. The old life is dead and buried. I have severed myself from it, once and for all. Henceforth I live the new life of success and power, of self-mastery and all accomplishment. First of all, memorize those words. Keep repeating them over until they sink deeply into your memory, and their meaning finds a place in your consciousness. If you can get a few moments to yourself during the day, practice making the affirmations. The right way is as follows. Go into a quiet place. Whether you sit, stand, or lie down is immaterial. Now close your eyes and say the words over very earnestly. What are those words again? To repeat, the old life is dead and buried. I have severed myself from it once and for all. Henceforth I live the new life of success and power, of self-mastery and all accomplishment. I'm going to end the video here. We'll see you in the next one.